Okay, I just spent like the last 30 minutes watching a video about how bad Destiny 2 is. So I thought to myself, why not just explain how the game works, right? So I've spent over 9 years in this game. I can say by now, I think the game is up and out for 9 years, aka Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. But I have heard a lot of negative things about it, like how expensive it is, but in reality, you would honestly just spend more if you were gonna play Call of Duty. Because every single year they release a new $70 game that's literally just the same. But I'm not here to talk about Call of Duty and their stupid price tags, and I'm here to talk about Destiny, because every year I spend $100 on the game. And if I keep spending $100, there must be a reason for it. If I didn't care about the game or if I hated the game, I would just not do it. I would play something else, maybe even go outside for once. But if I'm gonna go back to where it all started, it's literally just my brother told me about it, and I was like, damn, this game seems cool. So I played on my PlayStation 3, and we would like take turns on who would play. And to be honest, that was pretty interesting. I never got the ability to do raids or anything like that because, yeah, we didn't really play with anyone. It would just be us two, just, gaming. And a little bit later, maybe when Rise of Iron came out, I actually started playing with people and we figured out we could do raids. It took us around probably like 3-5 hours every time we did one, but we had a lot of fun. And every time we completed one, it felt so good. And then at that point, I literally just bought a PlayStation 4 just to play Destiny 2, or just to play Destiny. And when Destiny came to a close, I still was playing it a little bit, but I kind of went on to other things, like a certain game I'm gonna talk about later. But I was mainly just waiting for Destiny 2 to come out, because back then I would feel the biggest excitement from any new Destiny drop, because it was always so fun to play it. Like when Rise of Iron came out, I don't think I've ever wanted to skip school more than that day, because it came out 9 in the morning for me, aka midnight for Washington State, because there's a 9-hour difference between me and Washington. So 9 in the morning was weekly and daily reset, and I think somewhere in like Shadowkeep they changed that. I can't really remember. But when they announced their starting on a new Destiny game, I was so excited because there was so much new stuff to unravel, and I felt like I could actually play the game and understand what the fuck was going on for once, because my English was starting to get a little bit better because I didn't really speak very well English back then. So when it came out, I thought to myself, this game is so good looking and it's so much fun. This was the first week into it, and everyone was saying amazing things and how well the game was going, and the story was amazing. I've never ever heard someone who really disliked Red War, because they really felt like you just lost everything. The only complaints I saw was people saying, why did you take all our stuff? It's like, yeah, just go back and play Destiny 1, dumbass. And I think personally a fresh start is a better start than accumulating 7 years of, content and starting to hate the game more and more because they do silly things that they shouldn't have, like sunsetting and removing content from the game. Because if I talk to any new players who comes into the game nowadays, they will be like, this game seems odd. And that's fair, because there is no introduction, there isn't a base story game. They removed 5 planets, 3 planets. They removed Io, Titan, Mars, and Mercury. They added back the farm again after how many years? Since Beyond Light came out, so that's like 2-3 years. And the numbers are just going up and up and up. And it's really weird. I love Destiny 2 so much. And for new players, it will always be a challenge to get into a game like this unless they restart, like a Destiny 3, which is a thing I actually would want. That means they have to work on a new engine. It will probably look a lot cleaner, more optimized, and they can play around with new game mechanics that they couldn't have before. They can introduce us a new story plot, like Gaul did. Because Gaul, the story with Red War, was such a good story. I don't want to hear anything else, but, we got a little bit more disappointed when Curse of Osiris came out. The only reason people didn't stick around was because of how of a joke the power leveling system was. People got to max power within a few days. Not even. And where's the grind then? Now it's just wait for the raid to come out, play the raid, wait for the hard mode version of the raid to come out, which I still think was a better version of the raids we have now. Changing up the mechanics for the raid, and on top of that making it more challenging instead of adding fucking champions to it. Yeah, actually, if you don't use a pulse rifle for this encounter, you kinda are throwing, because you can't stun the anti-barriers. Now, I know Bungie added in a new system where you can like stun champions with Radiant, Volatile, Ignitions, Shatters, Freeze, Slow, whatever. But a lot of people consider me a PvP player because I have a lot of playtime in PvP. But that's not where I get my main content from. I fucking love the PvE side of this game, and I've always loved it. I've always been really, like, good/bad. I have never been to the point where I can do consistent speedruns or, anything like that, but I can still carry a team really hard. I used to sit in OFG all the day just helping people completing raids, and I found joy in that. That's also where I met most of my friends, but now everyone I know now and play with are people I have found from YouTube. Those gold diggers, the people who are after my wealth. Yeah, my 8K subscribers. No, I'm just fucking with you. But it's like, you might think I'm a PvP player because of my YouTube channel, but I have a lot of playtime in PvE. And before I cleaned my vault, everything in my vault was prioritized for PvE. Now most things are prioritized for PvP, because it seems like that's the only place that really gets an update. Whenever a new drop for PvP comes out, it feels like the game changes, right? You saw how this season they dropped a new weapon, and the whole meta just based around that one weapon. I think that's really fun. Some people find it really annoying, but, at least I get change all the time. With PvE, it just seems like it's the same stuff over and over. Unless there's a new raid or dungeon, I'm not really too interested. I'm not gonna sit there and play strikes for 10 hours. Like, who do you think I am? Now, I get that Bungie's trying to go towards a more casual player base because they need new players. That's just how it is. And they don't want to go towards all the veteran who has 30 hours a day in the game and spend thousands of hours getting rich or die trying, Because honestly, everyone I talk to that's not a PvP player, they're all broke. If they are PvE mains, they're all broke. And that just shows how the economy works in Destiny. You don't really need to spend anything to play PvP, but if you want to get more efficient in PvE, you need to spend a lot of glimmer, shards, etc., because you need to infuse your gear up and waste a lot of time and material for things you don't really need. And then you have the PvP players who don't need to spend anything at all. They will accumulate 30, 40, hundreds of thousands of legendary shards. They will get a lot of bright engrams because they just level up and shit on people all day. And a lot of people have fun doing that, but bad metas can lead to players just not wanting to play. For me, I always look at it as I have to at least try it out. And if you look at this background gameplay, this is not what a normal game looked like. This is just because they added CPMM back again. And they did that just because a lot of, worse players were complaining that PvP was not fun. It makes sense. If you load into a game and just get, mercied every game, I don't think you would have so much fun, which I get. But me as a slightly sweaty player who just want to play casually and not try my ass off when I'm playing PvP, I do enjoy CBMM lobbies more because I don't feel like I need to try, and I still can perform decent compared to skill-based matchmaking, where if I don't fucking sweat my balls off like it's a 10k tournament, I lose, and I will get absolutely fucking mollywopped. So there is that to the case. But the only thing that's been driving me crazy with Destiny 2 over the last few years is the fact that they just keep removing content. When they add something into the game, I want it to stay. That's what I loved everything from Season 1 to Season 11, because it felt like the game was going in a cooler and cooler space. Even though ever since I did the split from Activision, the game felt more, there just felt like there was less content because they didn't have other studios to help them. And I felt like Activision knew how to prioritize a player base, a consistent player base, which Bungie don't have as much experience with. Now, I'm not saying Bungie is doing a bad job of doing what they're doing, but they're just not targeting the right group for what the game is going for. And when you accumulate a lot of players who play this game for a regular basis, on a daily basis, making it suddenly casual friendly, family friendly, I don't fucking know, just making it less grindy, giving us less content than what we're used to, and doing that over the years and slightly increasing the price every year, it makes a lot of people who play the game very annoyed, because we want to play Destiny 2. We want to feel like we're playing the game and not just sitting in a strike for 10 hours. Because that's what we enjoy. We love to play Destiny 2. It's why we're so obsessed with Bungie making bad moves. If Bungie makes a bad move, we're gonna have a bad time, and we don't really want that. And since we just want to play Destiny 2 all the time, a lot of veterans get upset about the way the game is going because it feels like they're like, yeah. And I feel like that's the answer I get every time. And see everywhere where Bungie is like, yeah, actually, yeah. Of course, they're trying to improve on the story a little bit. I don't have a problem with the story whatsoever. I stopped caring about the story like 2 years ago because that's not why I play Destiny 2. The story is a cool addition. I just don't have as big of an interest in it anymore. And what I really look forward to is like new raids, new dungeons, low-man raids, doing the raid, cheesing things. And a lot of people complain about Bungie adding like new exotics every season and then disabling them for the last season. And then whenever someone figures out an exploit to get a lot of material and break the economy, Bungie fixes it instantly. I just want you to think about that. An exotic is broken, so they disable it to figure out the work for it, but it's disabled for like a few weeks. And a lot of people get upset about that we can't use the exotic, which is fair, but the people are getting upset by they don't want the economy to break. It's like, okay, so you want a broken economy where you literally don't have to play for anything? Why didn't just... Then you can just do /give infinite material, because what's the point then? It's like Bungie does a good job by patching those things fast. I don't really care because I have infinite materials, but if I was in a spot where I needed to actually play the game, I would play the game instead of complaining on Twitter about them patching a legendary shard glitch. Because if you don't play, you ain't getting those stocks up, you feel me? But honestly, Destiny 2 is going in a weird spot. I'm hoping the next season, with all the changes they're doing, the game is going to feel better. But Bungie, please, this is the only thing I'm asking. Give us back Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, Spire of Stars, Scourge of the Past, Crown of Sorrow, and every single PvP map and game mode we used to have. That's all I want for the game. That's literally all I care about. New weapons, new experience. So I'm fine with that. I can swap around. I like to do that all the time. I wouldn't be using spare rations still if it never got sunset. I would probably be using fucking DMT in the back of the map shitting on you. But, you know, that's my point. The only thing I want is the old good content to come back. I'm not even playing off nostalgia. I had so much fun playing this. You had the forges to farm out for weapons. You had Menagerie to farm out for weapons. You had, you know, all these cool activities that you could farm out. Ever since Menagerie came out, Bungie's just been trying to replicate it in a worst way. You see that with... I'm not even gonna say Days of Eternity is bad, because I enjoyed the living shit out of that when it came out. But my point is they're just trying to replicate it instead of just giving us back with the weapons we used to have and the, you know, the way weapons used to drop. The reason I loved Menagerie so much was because you could focus weapons. You could like focus drop weapons every time you completed the run. If you had those certain runes for it, which I thought was really cool. If you're a new player, you're gonna be wondering, what the fuck am I on about? But, you know, all I can tell you is try to play it. Try to actually play the game instead of complaining. Maybe you'll get a little bit better experience, because that's the one thing I've noticed. Ever since I stopped complaining, I just enjoy the game more. Instead of you complaining about them patching out the most broken weapon getting nerfed, or a boss getting one-shot by your most favorite super, instead of complaining about them, maybe you should try to play the game like you're supposed to, instead of, you know, trying to cheese everything because you can't shoot a rocket launcher. My bad. Maybe you should go on LFG and like use 6 Thunderlords on Nezarec. Maybe you're gonna have fun then, holding mouse 1 for 2 minutes. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I love all of you, even if your opinions are bad. But, you know, that's why we all have opinions. Anyway, I'll see you around.